Aloha and welcome. This is your astrologer, Tom Tenaglia. And in this video, we're going to talk about keeping your New Year's resolutions. So I noticed that there's actually a holiday or a supposed holiday on the 17th of January called Ditch Your New Year's Resolution. And it was an interesting thing to find because it dawned on me that there's several weeks into the year, people have given up on their resolutions. And so I want to begin by saying, if you follow your astrology chart, the path opens up. Whatever it is that you want to achieve, if you follow your astrology chart, the path opens up. And so I'm going to show you a little bit about how we use your astrology chart to create the things that you want in your life. And if you have a New Year's resolution that you've either already given up on or that you're working towards, this information can be helpful. Personally, I don't like the term New Year's resolution. I just like to think of it as a goal. And yet some other people don't like the word goals. So whatever works for you works for me. Before I continue, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And I'm always posting videos to help you navigate life and apply astrology and really create that core fulfillment that you want out of life, and really to make life as easy as possible to navigate. And that's really the whole point of the channel. Okay, so your resolutions are gone. There's three main reasons why people will drop their resolutions. One is they don't know their why. So if you don't know your reason why you're doing something. The other one is unresolved limiting beliefs. And the third is you haven't addressed consistency. So let's dive into each of these. This order is important, making sure that each of these things is there, because if you don't know your why, then you're not even really going to get started. And if you then get started and you bump up against beliefs, then if the beliefs can get in the way, and then if you're not actually being consistent, you're not actually going to get the result. So let's look in a little bit more detail what we can do here. So first of all, your why. Your reason why provides the energy for you to take action. It's where your motivation comes from. Making an impact in the world with astrology is what motivates me to put this channel together. It's what motivates me to make these videos all the time, because I see the benefits. I've seen way too much as to how astrology can help somebody in their life. And so because of that, it's one of the things that motivates me as to why I'm making this channel, for example. Make sure that your reason why begins and ends with you. Make sure that you are behind the motivation as to the reason why you're starting it, and as to the reason why you are maintaining that motivation. You're not doing it for someone else. Yes, I have a career goal. I have a business goal. Does that help me with my family, with my partner? For sure. But the goal is still, it's something that's within me. It's something that I'm doing for me. If I want to say that, okay, the result of that goal helps me with my family goal or helps me with my relationship goal, sure, but it's still connected to me. I'm not doing it because of my partner. I'm not doing it because of my family. Okay, I'm doing it because of me. And then focus on where you're going, not where you're coming from. So if you don't, so let's say if somebody's in let's see, what's a common New Year's goal? Sometimes working out. If there's a certain threshold, you're like, oh, you know what? I just need to stop. I just don't want to be at this particular fitness level. I want to be beyond that level. Once you're beyond that level, the motivation stops. Okay. So if you actually need to think of, okay, what level then do you want to be at? What direction are you moving towards? Okay. Not so much where you're coming from. Where you're coming from can be a catalyst to get you started, but you need to quickly shift that into where you're going. Okay. Because that's what's going to help maintain that motivation. Okay. From an astrological perspective, you want to make sure you're focusing on the direction that you're going, okay, which is ongoing. So for example, I'll run a business. Okay. That's not going to stop. The business is going. And then mile markers. So the mile markers are going to tell me maybe it's metrics, maybe it's customers, maybe it's average order value, maybe it's whatever those metrics are that I can hit tangibly. But I think a lot of people, they get so focused on making their goal tangible, which is so critical to the mile marker piece of this, but they sometimes forget the ongoing aspect of it. In other words, when I work out, I'm working out to be healthy, to promote health within me. Okay. That doesn't end. Okay. There's nothing tangible about that per se, but the mile markers along the way tell me how much I'm trending towards that, in that direction. From an astrological perspective, you also want to consider your soul journey. So I have a video on soul journey where I just do an introduction on it, but really schedule a reading with me. We go into a lot more detail. I personalize, the whole reading for you. I will tap into what that motivation is. Because again, coming back to, if you follow your astrology chart, the path opens up. If you tap into what your soul journey is saying, the path opens up, the energy comes in, and it's how I can do things at the level of precision that says, okay, this is actually going to work because it directly aligns with the chart. Okay, so consider your why, schedule a reading with me for your soul journey. Now, diving into limiting beliefs. A limiting belief can derail the whole goal, can derail the whole resolution, because it can remove the motivation. That's one way, right? So sometimes people go, well, why bother? Like maybe behind that is often a limiting belief of it's not going to work, or I'm not going to succeed, or whatever the case is. And so we have to actually address these, and the limiting beliefs are unconscious. They're not something where you can just change your thinking. It's actually, I take my clients through an unconscious process, a process that you can let go of the limiting beliefs at the unconscious level. And what we do in my Reprogram Your Mind Weekend, one-on-one, we look at your astrological chart. We actually resolve the problems in the chart, including letting go of the limiting beliefs. Okay, so if you have a New Year's resolution, hitting up against limiting beliefs, this is even if you know your reason why you're doing it. It's just, here's a limiting belief comes up. Let's resolve the problems in your chart. I can generally see how a goal gets manifested through somebody's chart and other techniques around that chart. I can really get a good idea of what steps to take to help manifest within that. Now, consistency, the third reason why New Year's resolutions are often given up. You want to light the candle, let it be lit, and then blow it out, right? So if you're lighting a candle, say to add some ambient light, you start by lighting the candle, and then you enjoy the light of the candle, and then when you're done with it, you blow it out. Okay, so that's important because the consistency is actually in the candle burning. It's not the starting of it. It's not the being done with the candle. It's in the burning of it. And so you need to allow that light to shine. You need to allow that candle, the light, that you're being consistent with, to be present. And that's often the most drawn out. That's where focus really, really comes into play. If you have your natal chart, if you're familiar with it, using the method that I use, you would want to check the sign on your 6th house and check the sign that your Mars is in. If you don't know what that means, schedule a reading with me. I go over that about you specifically in your one-on-one reading. Use my interpretation from a reading. If you've had a reading, go back to it, re-listen to the recording, okay? And listen to where I talk about these things, because this is what's going to help you. Your 6th house, your habits, your daily habits, and it's going to help you identify your consistency. Your Mars is your action, okay? So you put the two together, you get to understand, okay, what's going to get you started and what's going to help you be consistent. I will also look at Aries and Taurus in the chart, wherever it is, because Aries can help get something started, can just as easily fizzle out. And that's why I have to look at Taurus, because Taurus can help make something consistent. Because we have all of these energies in our chart. So I want to go to the areas of the chart where these energies are already present, where you're already good at them, because you're good at them somewhere. You're good at starting things somewhere. You're good at being consistent somewhere. Okay. You're good at manifesting things somewhere. And then being able to take that strength and bring it into the area where you're working on your resolution or where you're working on your current goal. Okay, so schedule a reading there. We'll go over that. I'll leave a link in the description below for scheduling that. Also with consistency, there's two types of people that watch this channel. There's those who watch a video or so, they leave, they don't apply it, they don't subscribe. It's just entertainment for them. And then there's others who watch each video as it comes out to the very end, and they apply the information and they subscribe to the channel. And so which one's being consistent in life? Because everything's a fractal. Everything, the answer to everything is in everything. This is esoteric, but it's a whole nother topic we could dive into. And so really consider which one is being consistent. And if you haven't figured it out, it's the one who watches each video as it comes out to the very end, applies the information and subscribes. Because that's what I'm doing. I'm putting those small incremental changes that you can make on a regular basis to rise above your chart, to create the life that you want, to be able to apply things, to not be not to have excuses about the chart that you have, but to actually be able to tap into the energy and the power and the manifestation ability and everything that's in that chart and be able to bring it into the world. And so consider that's what you're doing. So again, go ahead and schedule a reading. I'll leave a link in the description below, and definitely make sure that you subscribe. So if you like this video and you would like to see more like it, please subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section below. I look forward to connecting with you in the next video. Aloha, ahui ho. I'll talk with you again soon. Take care.